Hi everyone, Sarah Pacaro, Rapid Transformational Therapist. I wanted to share with you guys just some quick phrases today. Anytime you're dealing with a toxic person, an unhealthy person, a person who's gaslighting you, manipulating you, and putting you in positions that you question the reality of what's going on, and they do this so that you will see things their way and they can get the upper hand, and you're left with the one who's being the one who has to change or alter your way of being so that it suits them. And when you're having this experience, it's very difficult to decipher. It doesn't feel right. You get that feeling. I had a recent experience with somebody who was putting me in these positions where what was actually happening was not actually happening, but he was saying things and doing things in a way that I felt like, wait a minute, I hold on, something's not adding up, this doesn't feel right. And there were experiences of that, and when you feel that in your body, I could feel it in my throat. I could feel it up to here. My throat was getting really tight and almost like stinging. So your body feels it and is sending you those messages. So to decipher and digest what's going on in those types of experiences, sometimes you need space. And in order to get them kind of off your back, so to say, and to create that space, you need some phrases, some go-to phrases to say, okay, I get it. And to put that space between this delusion of what's going on and the reality of what's going on. So sometimes these, just a simple one line or phrase can create that space enough for you to step back and see the forest through the trees, because space is always what creates this sense of safety. That's why they like to get up in your face when these things are happening, so that you are just like your eyes are boggled and you're like, what's going on? So the last thing you ever want to do is play this game, this back and forth, this serving of the ball with a person who's toxic. And you want to and need to, for yourself, to let them know, look, I'm not going to engage in this. I'm not going to fight anymore, because engaging with them and fighting with them never ever settles anything. And you, as the person receiving this, want to settle things, kind of calm things down, give yourself space to digest and process. So there are some things that you can say when you're experiencing this to kind of get them to back off, to give yourself that space. And you can see, obviously, when you start to see this, they get really angry. And any toxic person avoids taking responsibility, because responsibility means changing your way of being so that it's not the other person's fault. And so avoiding responsibility is the thing that they'll do most, and they get angry, they get very vindictive, they get very passive aggressive, and they project these things on you. And so you can say something when you see this, like, your anger is not my responsibility, because it's not. And they won't like hearing this, but and know that this is for you to create space within yourself. You just be aware that it may induce more anger, but it's not your responsibility. So you can say things like, look, your anger is not my responsibility. And that is you creating and establishing a boundary and giving yourself this space. And maybe the person, if you're in the middle of a fight, will leave and go into another room, or they are projecting strong feelings onto you. So another phrase you can say is, I accept how you feel. And you're not accepting it as a way of like, because you feel this way, I need to change how I feel or how I'm being with you. But you can simply say, I accept how you feel. Because then you're not battling them and going up against them. You're receiving and accepting. I accept the way you feel. And not go back at them and like serve that ball back at them. You can say, your perceptions are your perceptions, because you guys, everything is a perception. They have this perception that you're wrong and they're right, and your perception is that you're right and they're wrong. So there's this mixture of perceptions, and that's all it is. And you can say to them, look, your perceptions are your perceptions. And they want you to engage, they want you to battle with them, they want you to argue with them, because they will always find a way to win. They will always find a way to have the upper hand. And they love seeing you go crazy. They love pushing your buttons and then watching you freak out. I recently had to end things with a toxic person, and it blew my mind because I had shared with this person, they sent me an emoji on a text message, and I shared with them, look, that emoji is very triggering for me because in a past really unhealthy relationship, that person would constantly send me that emoji, and so when I receive that emoji, it hurts and it triggers something inside of me. And I shared that, and they love when you're vulnerable with them because then they know what to do to get you to push your buttons. And so this person sent that emoji to me, and I responded with, I was on their way to their house, and I said, should I turn around? And and this person responded with, I love seeing you angry. You guys, that's a red flag right there. So it ended things, ended the relationship the very next day. But you can say things like, your perceptions are your perceptions, because that gives you that space, and it simply says, okay, you're going to think that I'm wrong, or I'm wrong and you're right, and I think that you're wrong and I'm right. So your perceptions are your perceptions. Or you can say, I accept your faulty perceptions of me, because that's all they are perceptions of you that are faulty. And you're not accepting it to say, you're right, I'm wrong. You're simply saying, I accept this perception. Or you can say, I accept how you feel. Because all that is feelings. We are meaning making machines, and in trying to make meaning, we get these feelings. We get happy, we get angry, we get scared, we get sad. All of these things that we are humans, we run off our feelings, our emotions. I accept how you feel, meaning you acknowledge that they feel angry, and saying your anger is not my responsibility. But when you say this, I accept how you feel, it's like you see that bait that they're throwing out there to try to hook you, and you're simply saying, I'm not taking the bait, by saying, I accept how you feel. Or you can say, it's okay that you're angry. That's another one. I guess we just have to end the conversation here. In that last experience with the toxic person, I had to say, look, I no longer can continue this relationship because I can see that we're not on the same page, and in continuing, I feel like we're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, and I just, we've come to the end of the road. And the last thing you want to do is argue with them. And so that was my way of saying to this person, we're going to just accept this and end the conversation, end the relationship here. Basically, you're saying, I'm not willing to play this game with you anymore. I'm not willing to argue with you anymore. And it's okay that we don't have a resolution, because in arguing with you and talking with you, they're always going to get it so that they win and you lose, and it hurts. That really hurts. So try these phrases that you can use, these one-liners to cut down a toxic person, and end it right there, and give yourself that space. It's not to say they won't come back around and try to re-engage you, but these phrases will give you that space that you need to differentiate between what they're trying to get you to see that the reality is and what your reality is, because it all is a perception. And oftentimes with the gaslighting, the manipulating, they are trying to get you to see, think, and feel, believe the way that they do, so that they win and you lose. So try these on. I hope they help you with any and every toxic person in your life, and then send me a message or comment. And if you're looking for a way to even go deeper into your healing and to really see where your wounds are and heal those from within, then I'd love to connect with you. You can always send me a message or click on the banner, and that'll pull up my calendar and give us a time that we can connect and talk. Thank you, guys.